One of my primary specialties is treating foot and ankle conditions in runners, and so probably the question I get the most from them is, what is the best shoe? And in fact, there probably is no one best shoe for most people. And there has been a tremendous amount of literature in the last probably 5 or 6 years, ever since about 2009 when minimalist running and barefoot running became very popular. There's been multiple studies done. Prior to that, there really weren't many studies done on the best running shoes. So the one thing we're finding in almost all of these studies is there is no one best shoe. Minimalist shoes aren't necessarily better. Maximalist shoes like this Hoka are not necessarily better, and standard running shoes like this New Balance are not necessarily better. What they're finding is using a variety of shoes is usually better. One very well done study done in 2013 took about 500 runners. They split them into 2 groups. Group 1 took one shoe that they liked, and they always ran in that one shoe. Now, they would get new ones when they were worn out, but they always used one model. And this is very typical of most of us who run. We find one shoe we like, and we tend to stick with it. Now, the other half of the runners in the study, they gave 2 different shoes. So they might get, let's say, this standard New Balance running shoe, and then maybe a maximalist shoe like the Hoka, or they may use a minimalist shoe like a Vibram. But there was 2 completely different shoes. The biggest finding in that study was that those people that alternated shoes, one day they would use shoe 1, the next day they would use shoe 2, those participants had 39% fewer lower extremity injuries than did the people that ran in just one model of shoe. So the one thing we're finding is that having multiple shoes is really quite beneficial. And the reason for this is that it's like cross-training. You're hitting in each of these shoes a little bit differently, you're using muscles differently, and you don't get that repetition of motion that leads to injury. We're finding in multiple studies now that it's that repetition doing the same thing over and over and over again that's the biggest cause of overuse injuries. So if you do have any injuries associated with running in your feet or ankles, please, and you're in our area, of course, please make an appointment to come in and see us. Make sure to bring your shoes with you, bring your running shoes. Also, if you're using any orthotics or arch supports, bring those. We want to see those. If you're not in our area, find a podiatrist who does specialize in sports medicine and go see them. If you like these videos, please subscribe to our channel.